Hello there, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Sam, and I moderate these weekly presentations. Welcome. Today, we're going to be speaking with Tyson Mavar, one of our senior financial advisors, and he is going to be covering how the Social Security Fairness Act may or may not impact your benefits. I apologize in advance. We will not have time today, folks, to answer any questions live, but I invite you to still ask away. It's completely anonymous, and I will make sure either Tyson himself or one of our other financial advisors can reach out to you after the presentation, either through phone or email, to answer those questions with you. Throughout the webinar, you are going to see me entering some links. They're going to pop up on your screen. You can click on those. They're going to guide you to some very valuable resources we have available for you, one of which is simply going to be the link to book an appointment with one of our financial advisors. This is a free appointment you can use to speak to one of our advisors, 15-minute block of time. It is completely free. You can get started on your retirement plan. You can get updated on your retirement plan. We really think you'd get some value out of that, as well as our YouTube channel, our LinkedIn channel. Please follow us on those. We post tons of retirement-related content weekly, and we really think you'd get some value out of following us. And if you choose to do so, thank you so much in advance. And as a quick reminder, final reminder before we get started, we are not affiliated nor endorsed whatsoever by any specific company. We are a completely independent group of financial advisors here, so please keep that in mind as you are listening along today. And without further ado, we're going to jump right into it with Tyson Mavar.
Good afternoon, folks. Thank you for attending our webinar series today. My name is Tyson Mavar. I'm a financial advisor and retirement specialist here with the Retirement Group of Wealth Enhancement Group. Today, we're going to be talking about some recent legislation called the Social Security Fairness Act that is affecting Social Security benefits for many government employees and many of our clients, especially some of our clients that were teachers, getting more benefits from Social Security, or at least some benefit from Social Security for those that were previously prevented from collecting. So just a little bit history of Social Security. It started in 1935. It was created as a safety net for old age individuals to have some income if they didn't have a pension or savings to get them through their later years in retirement. As of 2024, 68 million people were collecting Social Security. And many of these people rely on Social Security solely for their income in retirement. Now, the way that Social Security is collected and funded is through payroll taxes or FICA taxes. And there's actually two components to this. We have Social Security tax as well as Medicare tax. Social Security tax is 6.2% if you're a W-2 employee, and 1.45% going to Medicare tax, with a total of 7.65% now. This went up a few years back during the Obama administration, and we'll go back to this as we get into some of the sustainability characteristics of Social Security. Now, if you're a self-employed individual, these taxes double, because as an employee, a W-2 employee, your employer is going to pay half of your payroll taxes. It's also important to note that as of 2025, the maximum wage base is $176,100 per year, meaning that if you make more than this, you will not be paying Social Security tax on the amount above this threshold that you make. However, Medicare tax does not have a ceiling. So regardless of how much money you make, you're going to be paying that 1.45% of your income for Medicare tax as a part of your FICA taxes. Now, the way that they calculate, let's just give an example. Somebody who's making $100,000 per year, they would pay $7,650 in FICA taxes per year. Some of that going to Social Security, some of that going to Medicare. And if you're self-employed, that amount is going to double. And if you make more money, that number is going to go up to a certain point for Social Security, but an unlimited amount for the Medicare tax. Now, the mechanics of Social Security have changed over the years. Currently, there are roughly 184 million people paying into Social Security. But that's changed quite a bit over time. Back in 1950, there was 16 people paying into Social Security for every one person collecting Social Security. And that has come down to only 2 people paying into Social Security for every one person collecting Social Security, which has created problems for the sustainability of the Social Security fund. And if you look at this table here, the number that we focus most on is OASDI. So this is old age security and disability insurance. That is the fund that pays into Social Security and disability benefits. And that number that we're seeing there, 2035, reflects the year that is projected for this fund to be depleted. Now, that doesn't mean that all Social Security and disability payments will stop during that year, but if these projections actually play out, we would likely see some discounts to Social Security and disability benefits as soon as 2035. And we don't know exactly how much that would be, but this is creating an incentive for a lot of people these days that are concerned about our friends in Congress actually figuring out a solution to this, to actually start their Social Security benefits earlier to get as much money as they possibly can before some potential problems exist and potential discounts are applied to Social Security and disability benefits. Now, to qualify for Social Security, you have to have 40 quarters paying into Social Security, or effectively 10 years paying into Social Security. And the earliest you can start collecting Social Security is age 62, at least on the workers' benefit. It's possible you could collect earlier if you're on a disability situation. But for most people, that's the earliest you can collect. And your full retirement age, which is effectively when you no longer have any issues having earned income and Social Security at the same time. If you collect Social Security prior to your full retirement age, which could be 66 or 67, depending on your birth year, it's possible you could have discounts to your Social Security if you have additional earned income while collecting Social Security prior to your full retirement age. So not just workers can collect Social Security, but if you are a spouse of somebody who paid into Social Security and qualifies, or a survivor married to somebody who passed away but qualified for a worker's benefit of Social Security, then you can also qualify for benefits. Now, whether or not you qualify is a function of which benefit we're talking about. The spousal benefit, typically you're going to have to be married for at least a year to qualify for benefits. Even if you divorce somebody who had a worker's benefit, it's likely that you could qualify. Normally you have to have 10 years of marriage to qualify for your ex-spouse's Social Security benefit. And survivors, I believe it's only 9 months that you had to be married to somebody to collect on the worker's benefit of a spouse who is deceased. So there's additional benefits from Social Security that need to be considered, need to be planned for, and that are going to be potentially affected, and what we're going to talk about related to the Social Security Fairness Act in just a moment here. Now, this act was signed into law January 5th, 2025, very recently. And this act, what it's doing is repealing both the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset, two provisions of Social Security that would reduce or completely eliminate folks' ability to collect Social Security if they had paid into Social Security or were married to somebody who paid into Social Security. So we'll talk about how this impacts. Something that's also important to note is that if this applies to you, they are going to back pay through January of 2024 if you start collecting benefits. So not only will you either see an increase to your benefit or the creation of a new benefit that you might not previously have had, but you're going to also be eligible for back pay as far back as January of 2024. So windfall elimination provision. This affects a lot of people that we work with. I have a lot of clients, mostly Fortune 100 corporation clients in the companies that I specialize with, that had a spouse that either they worked a job in the private sector, were a covered employee, and then became a teacher or a government employee, or maybe they didn't work at all and pay into Social Security, but then later in their career, they became a government employee or teacher and would otherwise be eligible for a spousal benefit. This windfall elimination provision can have some pretty big discounts to your Social Security. And as of 2023, approximately 2.1 million people were affected by the windfall elimination provision. So let's see how this can affect folks. It's a fairly complicated calculation in what kind of discounts you might see on your Social Security as a result of having government pension or being affected by this windfall elimination provision. But what they're looking at is your average index monthly earnings. They compare that to your PIA, which stands for primary insurance amount, effectively your projected Social Security benefit at your full retirement age. And it can have some pretty substantial reductions to your Social Security benefit amount, in some cases several $100s per month. And for a lot of folks, that might entirely eliminate what you would otherwise qualify for from Social Security. And we have an example here for somebody that had 20 years of substantial earnings. Essentially, they were paying into Social Security for this amount of time. What this ended up doing to their Social Security, it reduced their benefit by $733 per month, roughly, of what they would otherwise qualify for at full retirement age for Social Security. So had a pretty big impact, and this is a lot of people that we work with and talk to that this affect. Now, as a result of this legislation, that reduction would completely go away, which would have a substantial increase on their monthly benefit from Social Security. There's another provision that was eliminated as a result of this legislation called the Government Pension Offset, or GPO. And this primarily affected folks that qualified for a spousal benefit or would otherwise have qualified for a spousal benefit, but was being reduced because of their employment as a government employee or potentially as a teacher, which is most of the people that we talk to affected by this. So the same applies to the government pension offset as the windfall elimination provision. If you are discounted on your Social Security as a result of this, not only will you get potentially an increase to your benefits, but you will get back pay through January of 2024 once you turn on your benefit or are making Social Security Administration aware of this government pension offset. So here's another example for an individual. They had a retirement benefit, which was a combination of their government pension as well as Social Security of $1,300 per month, $900 from their non-covered pension, and $400 a month from their Social Security benefit. So in this person's case, their GPO reduction was $600 per month. So their normal Social Security benefit would have actually been $1,000 a month. And as soon as this legislation is enacted and executed, they are going to receive a $600 per month increase to their monthly benefit, getting their Social Security corrected back to $1,000 per month. So a pretty significant amount of money for somebody that was in this situation, qualifying for a spousal benefit based on their spouse's record, but having a pension that was reducing the value of that spousal benefit. Not shown on here, what that would also do is increase their survivor benefit. So if they outlive their spouse, they're actually going to have a continued increase on their allowance to the survivor benefit beyond the lifetime of their spouse. Now, unfortunately, what we found in doing this retirement planning for many, many years, 74% of Americans do not have a written plan for their retirement. We believe this is unacceptable, just given how many companies, including ourselves, are happy to do this for you on a complimentary basis. We have a complimentary cash flow analysis where we'll walk you through your current retirement plan sustainability, and we'll make suggestions on things you can do today to have a more sustainable retirement plan. You might be developing a different Social Security strategy, and it might be improved as a result of this recent legislation. But we want to take into consideration everything in your financial plan for retirement. Your pension, if you have one, 401ks, outside investment accounts, non-qualified versus qualified investments. We want to be very tax efficient with how we are distributing these assets in our retirement plan. And oftentimes we will incorporate an estate plan into this for folks that may not spend all of their money during their retirement years, to make sure that those assets are passed efficiently to their beneficiaries, whether those are friends and family members or even a cause that might be important to you. We want to make sure that we're optimizing the tax code to maximize your retirement and estate plan. And we're happy to do this for you on a complimentary basis if you're willing to spend some time with us. So a little bit more about our company. We've been specializing in corporate employee retirement plans. And while we don't only work with corporate employees, that is where we really can offer the most value, we believe. And depending on what company you work with, it's likely we have clients from that company and knowledge about your company plan. So let us know if you have interest in having us do this assessment for you. Again, it's a free service that we offer. All we ask is if you get value from this exercise, that even if you don't become a client, you at least help us grow our business by referring us to some of your colleagues, friends, neighbors, family members, or coworkers that might also find benefit in talking with us. So with that, we're going to wrap it up today. If you'd like to schedule a meeting with us, just have a few questions for us, you can call us at 800-900-5867. You can email us at info@theretirementgroup.com, or you can even take a picture if you have a smartphone of this QR code on the left to schedule a meeting with myself or one of my colleagues. And I also encourage everybody to follow us on LinkedIn if you're not doing so already. And this QR code on the right will get you to our LinkedIn page where we have a variety of content, not all based on Social Security. We talk about investment strategies, estate planning strategies, tax strategies, and a lot of different company benefits plans that you may benefit from if you work for one of the companies that we specialize with. So thanks everybody for spending some time with us today. Everybody have a good, safe rest of the week, and we hope to talk to you all very soon.